Alright, today's lesson is called Nawa maki. It means wrapping the rope, Nawa, rope, maki, to wrap. And the end result looks a little something like this. There's many neat ways to do this. This is my personal favorite because it's quick, easy, compact, and if you take the time to do it, it looks rather nice. Especially this little part here, where it's wrapped and layered. Quite like it. Yes, again, there's many ways to do this. Some are very neat looking, some are sloppy looking, most of them practical, and they've all got their purposes and uses. So for this particular wrap, it's a way of keeping everything together and untangled, and at the same time, it creates a sort of pull loop where you can pull it free, and you've got yourself a bundle of rope that doesn't tangle, right? When you drop it, it's not going to tangle. You can pull on it, and it just keeps unraveling for you. So the first step of this is you need to find, you need to level out the ends of the rope. Alright, so here, boom, there. And sometimes it'll tangle a little bit, rarely is it a knot, usually it's just some kind of kerfluffle and you can just wiggle it until it's free. And that's a quality I find with hemp, is that it's got enough bite to it that sometimes it just catches on itself and has a slight tangle. Again, rarely it's a big knot. I don't think I've ever had to sit there in the middle of a technique and try and untie something. Usually I have to tug on it a few times and it comes loose. Alright, so we take the ends like this. We hold the rope with the thumbs as such, so it's folded in half. Now you can change the length between your hands for various sizes of the bundle. You can have it really short when it's done, and so you have your hands close together and you start going for it, or you can have it really far apart. Have it like that. Either way, I try and aim for roughly a foot in total, and what you're going to do is just reach down, grab one side, and grab the other, and you basically spider your hands like this, back and forth. Boom. See, there's some of that tangle I was talking about. There's not much to it. And if you're really familiar with the length of your rope and really familiar with how far apart you like to hold your hands, then you can actually count how many winds to do before you actually start tying it off. I didn't do that this time around because I basically guesstimated a foot. However, you basically need to know how much rope you want to have left over for when you start to wind it. So in this case, I'm going to give it one last loop. You take it in the hand like this. We're going to start taking the live end here and wrapping it like so. And now this, what you want nice and tight because it's what's holding the whole thing together. Here, I'm going to start wrapping it around. One of my peers likes to say that if you've done 2 or 3 bundles of this and your hands aren't sore, you're probably not doing it tight enough. I'm a little bit more liberal in that, and I say, to your liking. If you're the one using the rope, you should know what you like. Because in the end, what you like works for you. Alright, so we're going to wrap it around like this until there's just a little bit left. We're going to take the last loop here, so you can stick your finger through. You're going to run the live end under it, not pull it all the way through. You're just going to pull it like that, tighten it so it doesn't go anywhere. As you can see, it loops under and then back up. So this is that pull cord I was talking about. Now this turned out rather nicely well for someone that just guesstimated the lengths. But you can tie it accordingly so there's only a little bit hanging here, and what that does for you is when you go to pull the rope, you can literally pull it and throw it, and the whole thing comes unraveled for you. Whereas like this, when I go to pull it, I have to do that and that. But then there's that length I can just drop and work with anyways, right? So if you're just storing it, then I find it useful to have the majority of it wrapped nice and tight, and that way there isn't any ends hanging off that can tangle with other lines of rope. And similarly, we'll do it up so there's very little binding it. Here, here, here. And the reason that you might want to be able to drop it on the fly is if you're grappling with someone, you got them pinned down, and you pull out the rope. Some people will actually use their teeth to pull on that pole line, and well, if you're using your teeth and there isn't, and it's well wrapped, then you've basically got that flippy end you saw earlier smacking you in the face. It's rather unpleasant. Mid-grappling, it's probably not pleasant to begin with, but I mean, the last thing you need is hemp fibers in your eyes. They suck. Alright, so here's an example where it's only lightly tied at the end and it's got a lot of extra stuff hanging down. Now I've seen some people prefer this, specifically because of that ability to quickly pull it and drop it. Now as we see here, you pull it, boom, boom. You drop it, it's already a working line. You can go to town on it like that. Similarly, some people find appeal in having a lot of line to work with, like this. It's also good if you just want to quickly pack up a bunch of lines of rope after class, and you don't want to sit there wrapping it for 5, 8, 10 lines. So there, you've got a lot of loose extra rope. Which what I find this is interesting for is you can actually use it as a weapon and really leave some damage. And this will leave a mark. In a couple minutes, I'm gonna have red lines there. It's a real treat for people that aren't expecting rope to hurt. So, you essentially make yourself a little bit of a whip or some kind of a flexible weapon. And on the fly, it's quick and easy to do. Right? Boom, boom. Right. I don't believe there's much else I can say about this. There's many other ways to go about winding your rope like this, wrapping it up. And this is my preferred method. So this one last time. Look at that. Again, if you take the time to see, or make the time to figure out how wide you like your rope, and you count how many times it takes to wind it, and then you know how much to leave over when you're actually wrapping the body of the rope to your liking. This is 28 feet, which is what I've come to work with more often lately. Before, with 18 feet, I had a pretty firm idea of how many times to loop it over before wrapping it. And there. And you can actually use it, stick it on a stick or another rope and run that through here, and then you've got a way of carrying multiple ropes on another rope or stick. Alright, so that's Nawa maki. That is the method of tying, or the method of wrapping rope.